Welcome to the Brad and Taylor Show. Today we have Auston Cook.
You're listening to The Brad and Taylor Show, a podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to pursue their passions. We're sitting down with some of the best to learn how they got started and some lessons they learned along the way.
Hey, Auston.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're good. How are you?
We're doing good.
Good. I can't complain.
Yeah, awesome.
Excited to be here.
I like it. What exactly do you do?
I wear a few different hats, all kind of regarding real estate, of course. First off, I'm a real estate developer. Something's a little bit different than the usual, meaning, I take pieces of land and I turn them into something. So, maybe we'll do some lot splits. Maybe we'll do a planned urban development. Sometimes we sell them off to like Pulte homes or MI homes, and sometimes we build on them ourselves. On top of that, I do quite a few fix and flips and buy and holds. And of course, I'm a realtor as well.
Awesome. What'd you do first?
So it's kind of funny how it kind of started with being a realtor, but it's not really what I intended.
Yeah.
So I should kind of start off saying my father's been in the business for about 44 years.
Oh, wow.
He's a big time developer. Before the recession, he was the sixth largest developer in the state of Michigan. He was the largest private developer. And essentially, he lost everything in the recession. And that's when I was in high school. And I kind of saw this kind of side of real estate that not a lot of people see. I saw him lose everything and just so stressed out all the
Yep.
time, always working hard and losing it all. So I never wanted to go into real estate.
What did you want to do?
So, I didn't really know. All I knew is that I was supposed to go to college, get a degree. So I went to University of Michigan. I got a degree in mathematics, and I had no idea what I was supposed to do with it. So actually, when I graduated college 3 years ago from this month, I'm really
nice.
into rock climbing. So I jumped in my car and I traveled around the country for 9 months.
Oh, wow.
I climbed in 38 states.
Wow.
And I ended up falling, breaking my foot, coming home, and I was like, okay, well, I'm out for 3 months till I can start climbing again. I need to get a job.
Yeah.
So, I found this job at this solar company. So I started there, and I was there for only 3 months. But what I was doing is I was selling solar panels.
Mhm.
So I was going, basically, there was a cold call team, and they would cold call people and be like, yeah, do you want solar panels? And they're like, sure. Or not sure, but, or send someone
Yeah,
out. I'm
right.
interested in it. And so I was the guy that would come to their house, show up at their house, knock on their door, come on in, and give them a whole presentation on solar panels. I've never sold a thing in my life before this, so it was really intimidating.
I bet.
But that was kind of my first kind of introduction into sales. So from there, I realized that people kept asking me a question. People kept asking me, is my insurance policy going to go up? My insurance rate? And I had no idea what the answer was. I was like, I don't know. So essentially, I started doing research into this, and I realized that Michigan, has like one of the highest insurance rates in the country. So what I did is I got my insurance license. So I would go and I'd sell solar panels. And then with that, if I knew that if I could beat their current rate on their insurance, that's all people care about in Michigan is the rate. So then I could sell them an insurance policy as well.
Oh, dang.
So I started selling them the solar panels and an insurance policy to go with it. So I was kind of double dipping. And then I realized, well, it's so much easier to sell an insurance policy than it is to sell solar panels. So after doing that for 3 months, I went full time into selling insurance, and I just started cold calling. I got like a triple line dialer going. I just started making calls, and I became one of the top salesmen for Allstate in Southeast Michigan. And I was there for about 4 months, but then I realized it wasn't really fulfilling.
Yeah.
I was sitting in a little cubicle for 9 hours a day making cold calls, and I was only getting like $100 a deal. Where I realized some of these realtors, because I started working with a couple realtors that I got hooked up through my dad, and they were making like quite a bit more for selling a house. So they would sell a new house, and they would get $5,000, and I would get $50 for writing the insurance policy for this new house. So I was like, something's not right here.
Yeah.
So I ended up, kind of going against something I always said I wouldn't do. and talking to my dad about joining his real estate kind of team. I was like, Dad, there might be something here. I was like, these
Oh, I'm
guys
seeing
are
the
making,
potential now, he says.
yeah, no, I was like, these guys are making, $5,000 on a house. I'm making 50 for selling their insurance policy. I was like, do you think this is something I could do? He's like, yeah, of course. He goes, go get your insurance or your real estate license.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it.
Isn't that
So I
funny
went.
how sometimes that goes full circle like that?
I know. I was rebelling the business for so long. I was like, I don't want anything to do with that. I see how stressed this guy is, and then it just kind of came to it. So I got my real estate license, and that was like, now what do I do? My dad's like, well, he goes, you look at the legal newspaper, find people that are going into foreclosure, and knock on their door. And of course, this is like the way you did it back in like the 80s when he was doing it.
Yeah.
So I went to the legal newspaper, knocked on this lady's door, and I told her about what was happening. She was going to lose her house, and I was like, "We got to sell your house." I had no idea what I was talking about, but I just knew that she was going to lose her house, and if she didn't sell it, the bank would take it. So we put it on the market, and we put it on for it was like a little kind of really junky place in Plymouth, and we put it on for this was 2 years ago now. Put it on for a little less than 2 years, but put it on for 200,000, and the next day we had an offer for 180,
Huh.
and the lady was like, "Okay, I'll take it." So I went to my dad. I was like, "Oh wow, what do I do now?" I was only licensed for like 3 days.
Yeah.
What do I do? They said they want the house for 180. She said she'll take it. And he's like, well, look at this. He's like, what if we told her, what if I helped you out? And he's like, I could give you a loan here. He's like, I'll give you a loan, and you could tell her that you'll match that 180 cash. You can buy the house. And he goes, it needs a lot of work, right? And I was like, yeah. And then so he went through the house with me, and we kind of estimated it needed about $40,000 worth of work. But then after that, it might be worth about 260 or so. So we could renovate it, sell it, and make 40,000 instead, or I could get my $6,000 commission, whatever. So I was like, okay, yeah, if you'll give me a loan, sure, I'll try it out, see what I could do. I'm not very handy, but I can learn.
I'll make it work.
So I ended up purchasing the house, and this is like my third week in real estate. And I purchased this house. I had no idea what I was doing. I started paying my dad monthly payments on it, and I was like, "Oh shoot,
That wasn't what I was expecting.
yeah, no." I was like, "I might be in over my head here." And then my dad, he kind of looked at me, and he was like, "So, this is a junky house," but he goes, "What's the size of that lot?" And I was like, "It's I had no idea." So I went and looked it up. It was like 100 feet by 120 feet. And he goes, "No, check the zoning ordinance." I was like, "Okay." So I looked, and I was like, "Well, it's like 50 by, the minimum road frontage is 50 foot." He goes, "Okay, so your minimum road frontage is 50 foot. You have 100 feet of road frontage here. You have a junky house anyway." He goes, "What if you tore that house down and turned that one lot into two littler lots? Got your builder's license and built two new
You're
houses."
doing everything all at
I
once right
know.
in the
I was
beginning.
like, "Okay, let's do it."
And
So,
you're
yeah.
you're only at it for like 3 weeks.
I know. So the moral of the story is, yeah, that's how I got into this kind of weird development niche, through my father's guidance and by sheer kind of just luck and taking action right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
A month in.
that was about what? That was about
And that was your
oh,
very first transaction, right?
yeah, my very first transaction. That was a little bit less than 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years this July. So and then the rest has just been keeping up that kind of momentum.
Yeah.
Taking action.
Well, if you
So.
can do that for your first one, you can keep going strong.
I know. Well, we'll see. It's a lot of work. It's
Yeah.
not like just selling a house. It's a whole different can of worms. But
Yeah.
So did you end up building on the other one? How'd that go? We got to
Yeah,
finish the
so-
story on that
Yeah,
one.
you got to finish
yeah,
it. We're,
for sure.
we're
for
deep
sure.
into the
So,
story now, so you got to finish it.
yeah. So I did. So I ended up, I went to. I was like, well, shoot, this is going to cost me, X amount of dollars to build this house. I was like, how am I supposed to do that? And then my dad's like, well, we'll give you a loan again for this one. And I was like, oh,
Now you
wow.
got 2 loans.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, then thank you. And he goes, I'm just gonna do it for this one. He's like, you got to prove to me that you can do this. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I went and got everything lined up. I basically he kind of walked me through what to do because he's built about 2,000 houses. So he kind of walked me through what to do, and I I don't know. I just did everything. I built the house. I put it on the market. Actually, this past August, I put it on the market, August 2020, and I had it sold in a couple days. And people liked it so much that they wanted to buy the house next door, and I haven't even started it yet. So then I was like, well, I don't really have the money. I don't know if I'm going to get another loan here to do this. So I was kind of like brainstorming, and my dad was like, "Oh no, it's simple." He said, "You have to get them to buy it on a construction loan, and then they'll pay for the construction of this house next door." I was like, "Oh, that's brilliant." So these other buyers that wanted my spec house that are already built, they wanted me to build the exact same thing next door, and they were willing to get a construction loan. So the construction loan was great because we got all the money up front to build the house and all the, kind of the money, the profit up front. So basically, I took the profit I had from, building these two, and I started farming that neighborhood. So basically, I have door hangers that go out every month. I have postcards that go out every month. And I actually door knock and cold call this neighborhood too. And all of a sudden, this other dude called me, and he was like, "Yeah, I need to sell my house ASAP." And I was like, "Perfect." So, and then he was like, his house was junky too, and it happened to also be on a double lot. So I was like, I took the money that I made from,
You're like, here we go again.
Yep. Repeating the
yeah, I took the
process.
money from building these two, and I bought that one. And then right away, I tore it down, and right away, I just put it right on the market. This past, what was it? It was like in January. Put it right on the market. It wasn't even ready. I actually started building last week. Sold it both on construction loans, so I could get the money up front and then do two more. So now I have about 8 double lots in this neighborhood.
It's your neighborhood now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just keeps growing. So
That's
it's
awesome.
it's kind of how it started and where we're at. So
It's crazy.
and now I have a bunch of people backing me. Bunch of different guys, giving me loans to do these projects, and it's kind of crazy. Wouldn't have thought I'd be here 2 years ago.
I
I thought
know.
I'd be up in the mountains climbing.
I'll
So
start with that one. You're going to buy
Good
this
thing you
one now.
broke your foot, right?
yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, man, if I wouldn't have broke my foot, I'd still be living out of my van and climbing mountains. So, which, yeah, I mean, that's fun too, but it's
Yep.
different. So,
Nice. So over the last couple of years, what is the biggest piece of advice that you have received?
I think the biggest piece of advice is just take action.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first thing my dad told me. He's like, just go knock on the doors. He goes, it doesn't matter if you really know what you're talking about. He goes, these people need your help. So I was like, okay. So I just took action. And I think that's literally the part where so many people get caught up.
Yeah.
They start getting caught up. Oh, well, what if they say this? What am I supposed to say? What if this happens? What do I do? And they have like this whole plan in their head. But really, a plan is great. But at the end of the day, if you don't take the action, nothing will ever happen.
Yeah.
So I
Yep.
think, that's probably the most important thing. I was told right when I started, and it's the thing that, I kind of preach today. Is just do it.
So
That's
since
awesome.
you've been into a couple of bad homes, I mean, you've torn some down because they were too far gone, I'm assuming. What is the worst one you've been to?
Oh man. So I mean, I've been to some pretty bad ones. There was this one, this guy called me. He was like, "Yeah, we need to sell. We have a thing going on in the family, blah, blah, blah." So I get there, and I didn't know anyone was going to be home. He was like, "Yeah, the door will be unlocked." And there are boxes lined up to the ceiling of just garbage and garbage bags and food, rotten food all over. He had a couple parakeets flying around like down the tunnels of the, the boxes. Um, and then I'm like kind of walking around the house, and I couldn't even believe I was kept going this far, but I went to the basement and I turned on the light, and there's a guy in the basement doing drugs in the basement.
That is the
Uh,
worst. In the
yeah, so
basement. Everyone goes to the basement.
I know, I jumped, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "I'm with real estate," and then he's like, "Real estate," and I was like, "Yeah." So then I kind of ran out of the house, and that was the worst house I've ever been into. I've never want to be in that kind of situation again. Where I
Yeah.
ran into a guy in the basement. It was pretty scary.
Oh
That's
man.
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So going forward in the next couple of years, what goals do you have in mind, or what do you want to accomplish in the next couple of years?
Yeah, so in the next couple of years, a big thing that I really want to accomplish, Well, two things. One, I want to grow my rental property portfolio. Right now I have a handful of houses actually in that same neighborhood of the double lots as rental houses, and I really want to grow that portfolio. Um, but one of my more kind of active goals is to get kind of more mainstream in development. So we're working on a big project. I'm helping. My dad's actually like letting me almost kind of really take the reins on this project, which I'm pretty excited about. It's a lake home development in
Oh,
South Lyon
Wow.
nice.
That's
where
cool.
we're going to be building $37 million lake homes.
Wow.
Hopefully coming next year. So if anyone's listening to this and you're
Oh,
a
yeah.
realtor and you guys are, you have some buyers here looking for a lake house, we have 37 coming to South Lyon next year. It's going to be really exciting, and I can't wait to share more about it. Um, but that's one of the biggest things I'm working on right now. Is I'm working on that. Then we're working on a second lake development down in Monroe County, um, where we're going to be building 18 lake homes, and they're actually going to be very affordable because it's Monroe County. Where things are much cheaper there, so it's really cool, and I'm excited to kind of get more into some kind of more niche development stuff like on the lakes, and it's kind of what
Yeah.
I'm really kind of setting my sights to for the next couple of years.
Yeah, that's exciting. You've got some big plans coming.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I like
Real
it.
excited.
I like it. So let's say you had to start all over today and you had all that knowledge you have now. How would you spend that first $1,000?
Oh,
Well,
you
how are you going to
know,
go buy a house with that? Well, you didn't have to, you had that pulled off easy.
yes, I'm very fortunate in that, I have a mentor. My father is my mentor, and, he was willing to, kind of give me a loan on my first big project. Most people don't really have that inbuilt support system. So
Yeah.
what I would 1,000% recommend, and if I was not in that situation, what I would do is I would just go to like the nicer restaurants, go to the nicer golf courses, go to the nicer gym, whatever, and build some relationships with some, people that have a little bit more money. Um, Kind of tell them what you're doing and partner up with someone that's already doing it. So then what you can do is you can bring the funds, you can bring the connections to fund it, and then you could kind of connect the people together and just be the middleman. Is what I would have probably done if I didn't have my inbuilt support system here.
Yeah.
But since I do have that support system, it's hard to say what I would have done differently because I probably would not have spent so much time trying to get like buyer leads and listings. To be honest, it's a great source of income, and it's a great way to you know uh really kind of just help the market all around, help people, help individual families. But I found that, doing these bigger deals, but less of them is a lot more fulfilling when you're actually, creating a home for a family when there was no home there before.
Yep.
And then, seeing how excited they get when they get there. And then, you're supporting like 60 different contractors along the way. And it's just really rewarding. So, I mean, I don't really necessarily know if I would have done much different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a tough question.
Hey, that's awesome. Is there a business book that you may have read that you could recommend anyone?
Yes. So my favorite book um is The Go Giver.
Mhm.
So I don't know if have you guys read
I have
that
not
Go
read
Giver?
that
I
one
haven't
yet.
read up. Mm-mm.
It is so good. I 1,000% recommend you guys, especially as business owners, read the book. It's super short. It's like 100 pages, and it's very small pages, so you can read it in like 2 hours.
Whew.
And it's such a good book. Um, I mean, it kind of like tells you how to do business ethically, and where your roots really need to be. And if your roots are in the right place and your intentions are in the right place, then your business will just expand that much faster. And it's just a great book, and I 10 out of 10 recommend The Go Giver to everyone.
We'll have to
Awesome.
go get our copies now.
I like it. I like it.
Oh, Taylor, you'll
Yeah.
you'll like it. Yeah.
How can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so I mean, if you guys want, you can just text me or call me. My phone number is everywhere, so I'm just gonna continue to put it everywhere. It's 734 756 0848. or you can find me on Instagram, Auston Cook, AUSTONCOOK, or Facebook, anything. So
Sweet. Awesome. Hey, thanks for coming on and sharing your story with us today.
yeah, I appreciate it.
Are these working?
All right.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. I think that worked. Should we tell them?
Mine keeps falling. It doesn't like my voice.
What do we got to tell them?
Subscribe.
Subscribe. What do we got to point at it? Hey, I think there's a subscription button. Like
It might be there.
might be right there too.
Somewhere.
Somewhere.
Find it. It's red.
Yeah. And it's
Red.
blue. It's green. I don't really know.
It's a color.
This mic isn't even attached. Did you plug these in? Well, I guess.
I wonder if they can hear us.
Yeah. I wonder if they hear us. Well, we should probably tell them if they can hear us. We should probably tell them also give us a 5-star review for listening on Apple. That'd be cool.
5
5-star
stars,
review.
guys.
Share it with everybody they can think of.
We won't take
But-
4 stars.
I mean, Taylor, I don't even think these are on. I mean,
No, I don't think this is working.
This is not working.